It all began in 2007 with a phone call from a previous church member who knew of a family in South Evanston who needed food.
And she wondered if we would possibly pick up food once a week on a Saturday and bring it back and help feed this family.
And it was about a couple 100 pounds of food. So my Suburban's loaded, I come back, I didn't know what to expect. It only took a box of food to help this family, and then it's like I've got 15 boxes left.
And I mean a boatload of food. And I'd help unload it. We'd sort it in my hallway, in my kitchen, in my dining room, in my living room. So that's how it started.
And then we had about, over the next few months, up to about 14 families that would come.
And shortly after that, the pastor of the church at the time said, well, we could do it out of the parsonage basement. We recruited some volunteers from the church, and the next thing you know, it got too big for the parsonage basement.
When this kind of started happening and snowballing, it's like, I think God's trying to tell us something. So Mike and a bunch of friends renovated the garage and made it ready for all sorts of refrigerators and things, and we were ready to launch the pantry in May of 2009.
All the people are there, and it's like, okay, you'll put the meat in the bag, you'll put the bread in the bag. We're like, okay, shall we open the doors?
The 6 of us were sitting there just kind of waiting, and I think maybe 1 or 2 families came, and at that point it was like, is this gonna work? Is this gonna bomb?
But within a matter of weeks, the line doubled and tripled. And when we'd peek out there just to see how many people were in line, it's like, holy cow.
By the end of that month, we had 20 families. And by the end of our first year, it was almost 800 families.
And it grew and it grew, and it got to the point where we were getting more and more donations. There was no place to put anything. We were bursting. And within the first year, we were able to build an addition onto the pantry. And we realized, we're going to have to do something. We can't have people waiting out in the cold. So we decided to move the check-in portion over here to the church.
It just got to be so much bigger than we'd ever envisioned, than we'd ever imagined. Now I have 3,500 families in the database who have come to us at least once.
So that adds up to over 2,000 per month. Makes you feel good. And the whole operation here we consider food rescue. And when you go to the grocery stores and pick up the foods that ordinarily would be expiring the next day, and you know that after the next day they can't sell them, they would have gone into a dumpster.
We pick up food every day, but it's at different places.
The arrangement in the summer months that we have with the Evanston Farmers Market, we get the leftovers of fresh lettuce, asparagus,
mustard greens, green beans,
bushels of apples, just incredible amounts of produce that these farmers just hand over. They know what we do here and they want to participate in that way.
You know what else is fun is to watch just every once in a while someone will show up at the door with a couple bags of food, or some kids who decide to take their allowance and save it and go buy things at the grocery store and put it in the bag and bring it to us.
Children at schools where they have the little gardens, they'll donate the food to the pantry. The postman saw what we were doing, and next thing you know, we get the food drive from the post office, and that was thousands of pounds of food. And there's a number of salmon fishermen, charter captains, and they'll take out the wounded warriors, the vets. We end up bringing about 2,000 pounds of fresh salmon that will sit and fillet, and they got a couple of friends to help. We'll fillet fish all day, and that gets distributed. So it's truly turned into a community-supported pantry.
Tuesdays, Mike and I go down to the Greater Chicago Food Depository. The agency mart gets in all different items from the local area stores.
Most everything is free. Certain things are about 7 cents a pound, meat and other canned goods, and you just kind of grab what you can without knocking anyone else over. And
there's carrots, get those carrots kind of thing. And we will load up boxes and boxes and boxes. Typically we'll pick up between 1,500 to 1,800 pounds of food. And I will have volunteers here waiting, and we offload the truck.
We just constantly are putting things away, sorting things out, and bagging fruit and vegetables and eggs, and it goes on and on. It's amazing the food we get. It's amazing the food that we get.
I am the lettuce lady. I put all the lettuce away.
You can fill that entire refrigerator, double-doored, with lettuce. Think about that. That's a lot of lettuce.
And then there's people who work in the back with the canned goods, and the bread people, and the dessert people.
You know what else is amazing? It's all gone the next day. That's what's amazing.
Everybody gets vegetables, potatoes or rice, some starch, dairy, deli, bread, meat. They get a full bag, and it's enough to feed a family at least one meal, usually two. Never run out. Never. God provides.
When they get here, I make it a point to tell them how glad we are to see them, and we try to make it so that it's as stress-free as possible.
There are walkers who come on the bus, and they stand at the gate until 3:30.
And it could be cold outside, but they'd be lining up, they're coming. They walk and come there, some of them be pulling a suitcase.
The cars are very far down the block.
And these families come from everywhere. We don't have any geographic borders. We have even people coming from Wisconsin. I think we have 77 zip codes in the database.
We have patrons that are taking a train and then taking a bus and then walking 3 blocks to pick up 1 bag of fresh food.
Things are so bad now that we have people from all walks of life, all sorts of income levels. There are so many more people who are affected. This is a hard thing to come to a pantry, and they are in tears because they are so ashamed, or they're so stressed out, or they're so just at the end of their rope.
Some can barely look at you. There are others who really want to share their life story with you, and so I listen.
Being an orphan at a very young age, and then from there a ward of the state, I know what it's like to be hungry and homeless and, deprived.
I used to be a corporate meeting planner, and then I was a freelancer and moved into this building in Wilmette, and everything went south.
And I got sick. So I lost my job, and my doctor told me not to go back over the road. Because I was always working, I was always working.
Losing my house, that was hard. I worked a long time to get a house, nice house.
I work paycheck to paycheck, and I provide for my family, and I'm married too, and it's just like, it's hard.
I'm a mother of 4 children, 2 of them disabled, and I needed help with food. A girlfriend of mine said, well, I'm gonna take you over to a pantry, and I said, okay, where is it?
And I'm like, I've never been to a food pantry in my life.
God is my witness, I wish I never had to come here.
First time I came, I told my wife, because when we heard about it, I didn't want to come. Honestly, I did not want to come. It took me a while before I really came.
When I actually walked in there, I was like, wow, there's a lot of people in need just like me.
When you see people that have it worse than you, you really can't complain, That's the way I look at it. But if it weren't for the people here, I'd be gone.
Every time she sees me, she gave me a big hug. She told me, everything is going to be okay.
It's something that I will keep close in my heart to see just how much that human connection matters. If they didn't get that hug, if they didn't get that handshake, if they didn't get that greeting, I think if they had to choose, I think they'd take half the food with the hug.
The community we've developed with patrons and with volunteers and donors really feels like a family to all of us.
It really has become a community of people helping people.
They'll come and they'll hug us. God bless you. Thank you so much.
There are people they would say, oh, hello, beautiful, because they know you, and that was a really cool experience, having somebody directly recognize you and know who you were.
One of the patrons actually came up to me and said, I noticed that you play soccer, and I was wondering if I could come to one of your games. And then I was like, well, yeah, sure, let me print out a schedule and give it to you. And I saw him up in the stands, and And I said, you know, are you enjoying yourself? And he was having a blast. And, you know, I was like, that really means a lot. And it really means a lot.
And then if there is a birthday, we always check for cakes.
And sometimes when we have flowers, you know, we get flowers, so we give them to the ladies, you know.
Around the holidays, she would get turkey or items like that you couldn't afford.
Wednesdays, usually the ones before Thanksgiving and the ones before Christmas, because we were going to be closed on those days, it gets really, really crazy.
I think the record was over 390 families in a 2-hour period.
But we managed, and that was really a good Wednesday. They had their Thanksgiving, and we helped a lot of people that day.
The Pantry has been very good to my family, and now I'm a strong volunteer.
We decided that we needed to do more than just come and take.
So soon I started volunteering, and I just loved it, and I always offer my services and tell them anytime if I'm not working that week, if you need me, you can always call me.
And I love every second of it. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of dedication. I work with a wonderful team.
It's really, really sweet when we greet each other, and like we didn't know each other a year ago.
We have volunteers, high schoolers, all the way up to people in their 80s, doing it with joy and laughter and camaraderie.
That's a good feeling. We're all in this together.
It's a huge, huge blessing. It's a huge joy to see how it works, how well it works, how long it's been working, and the level at which it works. I think I'm always surprised. But it is a joy to be a part of something that is this magnificent.
It touches my heart so much. That's straight from my heart.
It's from the heart. It's from the heart.
Helping somebody else, doing something for someone else, you know. It's very good.
And when I miss a week or two, they act like I'm like an old friend.
It's another home away from home.
And she said the first time I came, she said, I felt the weight lift off my shoulders. And that's what it's all about, you know? It's just helping people in need. You know, this country has so much food, nobody should go